How is this done in poverty, scarcity, shortage, mammoth crowd? These are sitting on the floor. Stage, light, sound, paid for. LED screen. Buses from all across the country, about 700 buses. We are going to celebrate the God of all possibilities. Like I said, Pakistan showed us the possibilities of God. When you hear Pakistan, or you hear, Pakistan is bordering Afghanistan. It's their largest neighbor. Pakistan is bordering Iran. They have China and India on the other side. Tajikistan up there, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and all of that. That was the place we went. When we were about to land, I asked Dr. Enenche, I said, you know the place we came, we have landed. I said, you know the boundary nations of this country? But as we arrived, very, very unbelievable reception. They received us straight into immigration. No question of what are you here for? What do you come to do? Like they were waiting for us. Stamped visas. While we were waiting for immigration standing, they started rushing us for pictures. They want to snap. One woman snapped with us. Remember that woman? Almost 5 times. She goes and returns back. She will go. Somebody wanted to snap. She snapped for that person and then joined the picture for the person. Are you going to be in the program? She says she's not sure, but she's snapping.
But she came.
But you saw her?
Yes.
Oh, you saw her? Oh, wow. Now, that was the kind of reception. Sat in the front row. Wow. As soon as we arrived, you saw the cheerfulness at the beginning. From there, all the way into the city, armed government security, fully armed, unsmiling. It looks like there was an instruction. These people must come and go back safe. So, let us, and then here we are in the streets where they were pouring us the petals from here to the hotel, from the hotel to the evening session. Evening session, look at people on the walls. Evening session, Dr. Miss Enenche said as soon as she stepped to the altar and she saw the crowd, for a second or two, she was almost confused and perplexed. What is this? What am I seeing? From where? How did they? Who knows us here? And they amassed. She finished. I went up. Fire. They were so excited. Some couldn't sit down. They were just going like this. Finished the preaching, the healings, the miracles, the signs, and the wonders. We announced the second night. Look at them on the ground. Next day, we're meant to go for the welfare that you saw. After we have done commanding the day at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. their time. We're meant to go for the welfare that you saw. This welfare. And then the securities told us to hold on. Now, 2 days before we went, exactly 2 days before our arrival, there had been a terror attack 1,500 kilometers away from where we were, but in the same country, where a whole train was captured and all of that. So there was more like a security alert in the nation before we arrived. And then they gave us, in addition to the visa, they added something they call a no objection certificate from the government. That is, we don't have any objection to these people coming or what they came to do. No objection. Wow. And then approved 2 days of crusade. In the history of their country, said, you don't do crusades for 2 days, 2 days on one spot. No. They approved it for us. What a favor. And then when the first night happened, everywhere, you didn't see the crowd. People were sitting on the floor. People were standing by the road. People were hanging everywhere. When that first night happened, and we announced everybody to come on the second night with so and so, by the next day, the securities and safety of the securities came to us and said we should hold on. And that to be sure that everything is security clear before we could go for that welfare administration. End of the day, they did not guarantee our going. So they said we should hold on and wait for the evening session. And so I told myself, I said, if this afternoon session, which is a smaller meeting in the daytime, They cannot guarantee our going. Is it the evening? And then I saw two concerns. Number one, safety. If this kind of crowd showed up first night and they saw the things they saw, we say, come the next day, and the crowd multiplied 2-3 times, where do you keep the people? How do you prevent people trampling themselves? And then, of course, the country was already on security alert, so security concern. So we're waiting. And by the time they came back to us, they say, the meeting may only hold at another venue if there is a possibility of another venue, but not that venue. Wow. It was impossible to dismantle stage, dismantle light, dismantle sound, dismantle everything, and look for another venue and take everything there. Those kind of setups takes at times 48 hours, 24, 48 hours to set up. So the conclusion is the meeting was not going to hold. And so we had the ministers' conference the next day. And I therefore said, instead of waiting the next day, because I won't feel good that the evening came and we are not at the crusade and I'm in this town. Let's hold the ministers' conference today within the next 2 hours. So that meeting you saw the pastors gather was 2 hours notice. And they gathered from everywhere. And then we had the ministers' conference. Later on, I got to know that just before we set for the airport, they came and they said, now, from the government, clearance was given already that the crusade holds the second night. Even though they gave permission for one night before, but they gave us all manner of favor. That is, but the security people say, hold on. Only maybe 6 p.m. or then about, before we were start, they say, okay, now they have been able to clear security and mobilize more forces and all of that to be sure that everything was good. But at that time, it was too late. At that time, there was no word has gone out that the meeting is cancelled. There was no way we could regather the people back. And that was how that night didn't hold anymore. So from the government and the security, just before we left, the clarity was given, but it wasn't possible to hold anymore. But we told them that we are going to come back and come back in a more drastic manner. That was the level of favor, the level of help, the level of mercy. If what you saw there is possible, I can tell you anything is possible around your life. I'd like you to join me for only 5 minutes and let us celebrate God. Just 5 minutes.